Hey Tom.
Hey, how's it going, Nick?
How you doing? It's good to be here. I know we shot the launch of the Ableton Move.
Yeah.
And obviously there were lots of questions and kind of, we couldn't cover everything. So I thought we'd drop by and see, because you're a different product person, so you would have a different take on it. So,
sure.
So how have you been getting on with it?
I'm absolutely loving it at the moment. It's just sort of the form factor of it and the kind of workflow is really, really good. It's just super quick and easy to get ideas down. And it's sort of limited, but intentionally so. And that's kind of limitation that sort of breeds creativity, which I'm really enjoying because it sort of makes you think out of the box a bit. But it's a little less limited than people sort of initially think. One of the things that I thought I would show you, which is probably my favorite feature, is initially you see we've got 4 tracks here that you can work with. So when you load up a set, you've sort of ostensibly got 4 tracks. But actually what you can do is, I'm going to build a song using just a single track because there's this really nifty feature. So I've got a drum kit loaded up here. But what you can do in the drum racks is on any sample, so like there I've got a nice little keyboard sample, you've got to make sure that we've got this setting over here, which is called 16 pitches, that's got to be on, and you get this little grid over here. Any sample in the drum rack, you can play that chromatically. So essentially what that means is within a single track, you actually have an additional kind of 16 monophonic sample tracks, which is pretty fun. So let me just lay down a really basic beat. I'll just get that ready and let's capture that. Oh, didn't do an excellent job. I'll do that one again.
Nice.
And just the first bar. Just get an extra kick in there. And now what I can do, I go to this here, so I'm still on the same track, haven't switched to a separate track on Move. And I double the loop as well, just so I've got a bit of extra to work with, double that loop. Capture that in. I might just quantize everything. And so you can see I've got a drum track going and a melodic track on the same part here. I'll duplicate that clip so I've got some variations to work with. Got a nice kind of tom there. Duplicate it again. Still just working on the same track.
Yeah.
Duplicate it. And then if I want to, I can go over and
maybe turn the tambourine down a bit, eh?
I'll grab that tambourine, just turn it down a little bit. I can go over to my reverb send, maybe let's add, I'll change that actually to a delay. And let's select this little snare over here. And I can just kind of, still in the same drum rack, just do a bit of a performance with it. Switch over to my session mode, and so you'll see here again, just all in one track, I've got these different clips that I've created. So there's my initial starting track. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I want to have just those keys as a separate part, so I hold this down, tap there and copy that pad, go into that, and I'll just delete the drum part, go back over to the session view, so I've got just my keys, and I can sort of build up my track.
Yeah, nice.
Again, all just in one track.
So you've still got 3 to go.
So I've got 3 to go. If I want to go into one of these other tracks, and what I can even do is, even though this is loaded up, this is at the moment got a bass sound, I can go and I can also switch this one, go all the way back, and switch this to a drum track, and I can load up any old drum kits.
And also you can trigger almost stems and stuff on that drum track as well.
Exactly, so I've got another 16 sounds here which I can swap out to be vocal stuff. Well, let me do that.
Are they, just while you're doing that, is it 16 note polyphony per drum track, or is it?
So yeah, you could have 16 notes playing at once. Each individual note will be monophonic.
Right.
But yeah, if you've got different samples loaded on the pads, you can have all 16 pads running at the same time.
So okay. So could you, and can you? One of the ones I wondered is, can you then output the pitched version of the MIDI of that drum rack, so you could trigger like an external instrument over MIDI, rather than use an entire track just for a monophonic line or a chord line?
I see what you mean. I'm not going to confirm or deny that because I haven't tried it. So
okay.
In theory, I imagine you probably could.
But so I mean,
but I haven't tried it. So.
But 16 tracks per track, effectively, if you're in drum rack mode.
Exactly. So you can kind of have up to 64 monophonic sampler tracks, which you're running.
Right. I think that's a good point. That's good. Good to clarify.
Yeah.
So I mean, the other thing that was really interesting about it is the way that you can also do the capture on automation, which is kind of a new thing. Because I think I spoke to Brian and he was like, no, you can do that in live. It's like, no, actually, that's a new thing. That's a really nifty trick, right?
Yes, I think that's something that's been inherited from Note, because you can do that in Notes as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, I haven't got a good example on this, particularly on this drum track necessary, but let's see. Let's see if I've got a sound here that's going to work well for this. Best sound to demonstrate it. So let's load something up that's got. I'm looking for something that's got like a filter on it, because that's always obvious. I think it's Belleville keys.
Yeah, that sounds filtery, doesn't it?
So let's just stop this one that I've got going here, so I can just have some keys. Myself metronome. Record something basic. Quantize it. So now I can grab. I can just turn that and then just hit the capture button.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really neat.
And that automation's recorded in there. So again, just like this extra level of sort of flexibility that you get with it, which is within those limitations, but kind of breaking those limitations a bit to give you a lot of really interesting creative potential, I think.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I could see people using this in a live situation quite easily, and also maybe, I mean, I know Push is designed to be a bit more of a powerhouse in that department, but you could drop a few stems, a few song sections in there and just trigger arrangements, and it seems like with that level of storage and stereo sample, then you could do quite a lot with it live.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I keep coming back to this idea of limitations, but I think this idea of sort of limitations breeding creativity. If you think back to sort of the amazing stuff that people were doing 20 years ago with SP1200s and MPCs, loading up all kinds of interesting things and building full tracks out of it, you've got that same sort of thing here, except even a lot more capable than that. I mean, I'll show you something else that I was playing around with yesterday. Let me just load up a fresh set for now. But for example, I think one thing people have asked a lot about is like, can you slice up some drum breaks on here?
Okay.
And, the answer is yes, you can. So if I go over again, I'll load up a new sound. Now I'm going to go back to, well, what we have here are template sounds. So there's a bunch of presets that come with it, preset drum racks and things. But you also have these templates for sort of building up your own sounds. So, for example, I've got this gate kit. And now what I'm going to do is in one of these pads, I'll load up, so I've already loaded some of my own samples on here, so I can just go into my user samples, find a drum loop. Let's just, why not? I'll use that drum break. So I've got that on a pad. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to capture that in. So capture that. So now that that's playing, I can arm the record, because the way that the sampling works on this is you arm record and then you can tap a pad and it's going to record into that pad. You can set the input of the recording to either come from the internal mic or you can resample the output of the kit.
Right.
So now what I'll do is as soon as I hit a pad, it's going to start playing back that little loop that I recorded in. But I can sample onto multiple pads. As I hit a new pad, it starts sampling at that point.
Oh, so you can manually slice
it. So sort of slice it on the go. So.
Yeah.
Now I'll just delete that loop. And then what I can do is, like there, if I want to get really precise in that sample, I've got the position I can edit here, but if I hold down shift, I can even get fine control. So I can just get really, so like that one, get fine in on there and sort of
Really, just
dial in the samples.
Yeah, nice.
And slice up a drum break or a vocal sample or whatever it is as you kind of record it in.
That's a neat technique.
So that's
Nice
pretty
one.
fun.
I'll just point out the flickering on that is because the shutter speeds on this is all over the place. It doesn't look like that in real life, I can assure you.
Yes, yeah, I know the buttons, these light buttons are always a little bit tricky to film.
Yeah, they are. So, well, that's excellent, Tom. So, I guess, I mean, it's shipping now, isn't it? It's all sort of going out the door.
It is, yeah. You can go on the Ableton website and you can order them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Cheers.
Cheers, thanks very much.